From the heart of Big Ten country, Los Angeles, California, Ryan Abraham and David Woods present the Podcast of Champions.
Welcome, everyone, back to the Podcast of Champions. I'm David Woods from Bruin Report Online, the UCLA site on the 24/7 Sports Network.
And I'm Ryan Abraham from USCFootball.com, part of the 24/7 Sports Network. And together...
That one messed you up.
Did it mess me up a little bit?
I think so.
To be honest, I don't even remember what I say anymore.
Yeah, who knows?
I just whatever. But yeah, David and I, you know what we do? We make the Podcast of Champions, talking all things Big Ten football. Super exciting slate of games coming up in week 3. Not really, but we're just going to say it is. Not that there's a bunch of FCS teams and there's no lines. We're not saying that. Well, there is kind of, but whatever. We got to recap week 2, preview week 3, go over all our picks. It's going to be a really interesting week in the survivor pool. A lot of people left. Really, the only people that have lost, I think they've picked UCLA. One person I think picked Northwestern, but outside of that, or maybe it was the other way around, but this could be a UCLA week. But we got a lot of stuff to get to, and we're going to get to it all. We got some really great voicemails and a bunch of awesome emails, so we're going to get to those later in the show. If you want to email us, Big10Cast, all spelled out, at gmail.com. Call or text us at 424-532-0678, or tweet us at B1G Podcast. If you have Apple or Spotify, I know David doesn't like to do Spotify, but leave us a 5-star rating and review. We love it. You can leave Spotify comments on each episode or an overall review on Apple Podcasts.
Nobody's leaving anything on Spotify. Please stop suggesting people do that.
I'm going to look.
Nobody is. Come on.
Do we have any reviews?
Honest to God, we've got reviews on Apple iTunes.
Okay.
iTunes?
It's not iTunes anymore.
We have reviews on iTunes. We don't have any reviews on Spotify because people don't do that.
Okay, I'll find it.
They don't do it. Stop it.
The last episode. Be the first to leave a comment. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
We got a couple. Do we have any new?
We do have 2 new ones.
Okay.
All right. This one is from Charlotte M712. What am I even doing here? Ryan and Dave, as one of the few female fans of the show, I have to be honest and say I'm not really sure how I ended up here. I think it has something to do with the fact that as a graduate of a non-Pac-12 school, I married into a huge UCLA family, and this podcast is probably the only thing that can make following UCLA football for the last 5 years even somewhat enjoyable. My favorite thing about this podcast is how, despite openly admitting to doing the least amount of preparation possible for each episode, Dave somehow always turns it around and makes it look like Ryan is the one who didn't do any work. Would love to know the secret to that, as it could be a useful skill to have. I'll tell you. The secret to my success in life, meager though it may be, is to always speak confidently, whether or not you know what the hell you're talking about. And I can outdo most people in that department. Certainly Ryan, who is a nice, selfless-facing gentleman. And so I can convince him he's wrong when he even knows that he isn't. It's a beautiful thing. One last thing. Since we know Dave loves merch as demonstrated by his big Phoenix Energy shirt, might I suggest you make POC t-shirts, but instead of your logo, it's just Dave as Oscar the Grouch in a trash can with the line, "This is where I'm most comfortable," from the most recent episode. Glad the POC still lives. Whatever amount of work it is that you do, keep it up. Thanks, Charlotte in DC.
Thanks, Charlotte. That's an awesome one.
That was a very nice
And we
email.
do have
Trader Joe's gift
Trader Joe's gift card. We have $35 gift cards. I don't know how many. He sent me a lot, like 17 or 18. Now, speaking of work, so I'm the one that writes a little note, puts it in an envelope, buys the stamps, all that stuff. So that's on me. But Charlotte, I would love to send you a Trader Joe's gift card. So you can just email me directly, Ryan at USCFootball.com.
We do have another review.
I know, but she's getting one. So
okay. Yeah. All right. There you go, Charlotte. All right. This is from DuckFan68. 3 things. Dear Jeff and NJ, not Jeff, I think your mediocrity has sunk to a different level. What the heck makes you think that the UCLA fan base, parentheses, the dozens that still exist after the last ice age and winning season rolled into one, and end parentheses, didn't use their non-Nico NIL dollars to stack the Mizzou State roster? Didn't that roster outperform UCLA's? Next up, if you guys are trading places with a coach, then Ryan, shouldn't you have chosen Cignetti? After all, you know how it goes. He knows the score, and between that phrase and he kills would be the reason to trade with him.
Let me do.
God has mercy.
Wrong one.
Cignetti. Don't. Signetti kills. He knows the score. He gets the women. Signetti kills.
There's the one.
Yeah.
Lastly, Jeff, you were right on in your synopsis of Corso. A great bridge for young people to look ahead at how they can still be productive and what they love and do what they love into their 90s. These are the same neophytes that have no idea why it is called rolling down when opening a car window. Since I am turning 75, or as I prefer to tell my friends, I am entering the fourth quarter of my life, hoping to not get the 2-minute warning for a while yet. Love it. Thank you so much, DuckFan68. That was another wonderful review. I think we should send him as well a Trader Joe's gift card.
Yeah. He's happy 75th.
Happy 75th.
And we actually had a birthday comment. Our Gopher Insight said that I'm looking good, not a day over 55.
True.
I am 54, so yes. I did play like 2.5 hours of beach volleyball this morning, and jumped in the ocean. So it was awesome. It was a good morning.
I caught for my daughter at her pitching lesson just before we started this show.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Love it. Both of you guys email me, Ryan@uscfootball.com. And tell you what, if we get a really good Spotify comment just to spite Dave, I will send you a Trader Joe's gift card as well. So, put a really funny Spotify comment on this episode, and I'll give you a gift card.
Beautiful.
I love that stuff. All right, we got to go through and recap everything that went on in Big Ten football. It was for us. Oh, I'm sorry. I have to talk about something first. Our picks were good this week. Mine were better than yours. That's good. I was 9-4. You were 8-5. So we're about week one. We were 1 under 500. So we're both over 500 now, which is good. But you guys can take advantage. You can use our picks to make you some money. Fantasy, that's bragging rights. I was favored in all 3 of my fantasy leagues in week 1 of the NFL, lost them all. That sucks. But you know what? My bets did really well, 9-4. My bookie will pay you cash, not bragging rights. You did your research. You can listen to us, or you have your gut picks. You can now cash in. Saturday is College Chaos. And if you like the NFL, of course, the NFL Insanity. With my bookie, you got every angle covered. Spreads, prop bets, live bets. Hey, you could even jump in and play a little blackjack if you want to. The setup's seamless. 1 account, 1 wallet. Bet your game. Like I said, a little blackjack if you want. Reload without ever leaving the app. And if you're new to my bookie, you can use our promo code POC. Any bet you choose, anyone you want, up to $500, fully covered. So you make your play, and if it doesn't hit, you get it right back. And then you can opt in using our Bet Back bonus token. This isn't fantasy. This is the real season. Let's cash with my bookie.
That was a beautiful read.
Thanks. And we cashed this week. We did a good job. Week 1 was a little rougher. It's going to be different this week picking because there's a lot of no lines because there's a lot of FCS opponents. But there was a lot of games we had, and even the ones we lost, I felt pretty good about. So I felt like we were dialed in a little bit in week 2, David. Better than week 1.
I agree. I think it was a little bit easier to pick because we had a little bit more information.
Yes.
But I will also say it was blind luck, and there is no guarantee of future success, everyone.
I'm totally guaranteeing
past
success.
Performance is no indicator for future success.
Wait, if you did 9-4 and I was 8-5, would that be blind luck, or that was
obviously that would be skill?
Okay.
Obviously,
that was good. Yes, I got there was the one game we picked. I think 3 games differently, and the Wisconsin game did not look like I was going to cover, and it was sort of a miracle cover. I was in the press box watching with Connor, punching him on the arm, yes, cover. It was great. All right, let's go through our power rankings and recap the games. Coming in at number 18.
UCLA Bruins.
Yeah, my Bruins, those UCLA Bruins, they traveled to Las Vegas. I did as well, to take on the UNLV Running Rebels. I think they're just the Rebels now. I'm not sure. Maybe just the Running Rebels when they're on the basketball floor. Anyway, I digress. We both picked UNLV to cover 2.5. Sorry, UCLA was favored by 2.5. We predicted UNLV to handle that. Now,
Yes.
Did we both think it would be a 1-point win for UCLA? No, I don't think we did. I think we thought maybe what happened actually would happen, which is UNLV won 30-23, and it's a little deceptive because at one point in this game they were up 23-0.
Taylor says, with UCLA trending in the right direction, outscoring UNLV 20-7 in the second half, how long until Foster brings another natty to Westwood?
Well said, well argued. This was an abomination, obviously.
Okay.
Second straight abomination for UCLA. A lot of people have talked themselves into that comeback at the end of this game, which, wow. Like, think about how through the looking glass you have to be excited about a unsuccessful comeback against a Mountain West team. And is it Boise State that they came back on?
No.
No. Is it San Diego State?
No.
Was it Fresno State?
No.
Oh, then it doesn't matter. It does not matter. I don't care how close UNLV came to the playoff last year. Doesn't matter. It's still UNLV.
They lost their head coach, too.
Yeah. And they were starting like a Virginia quarterback who wasn't good last year, Anthony Calandria. Abominable defense pretty much the entire game. The offense had the same issues it had against Utah. Inaccuracy, poor decisions from Nico, bad offensive line play, and too little too late, I guess, would be the point. I mean, any offense with a pulse should be scoring, 30 plus on UNLV. UCLA managed 23 by the end of this one. Miserable performance. They are rightly at the bottom.
So, love that we spend the most time talking about the team that's worse, just because you cover that. But you were there. You were actually in Vegas.
I was on site. I was on hand for this travesty.
I tried to text him. He's not responding to me. He'll text me all the time while I'm working in the press box. I'm nice. I respond to David. He just ignores me, like whatever.
I'm busy.
Busy.
You're less busy. You've got like 75 people working for you.
I don't have that many people, but all right. Number 17.
Northwestern Wildcats.
They were taking on the Western Illinois, Leathernecks. How am I going to do Leatherneck?
My neck's made of leather.
How's that? Was that good?
That's as good as it's going to
Did that sound like somebody whose neck was made of leather? I was trying to make it kind of stiff leather, right?
It sounded like a Marvel villain or something.
Okay,
maybe.
cool.
That could be it.
That's what I was going for.
Okay.
All right. This was obviously no line because Western Illinois is an FCS school. Northwestern won 42-7. I don't care.
Yeah. No line. We didn't pick it. So we're 1-0 so far. We got UCLA right. Number 16.
Iowa Hawkeyes.
Iowa State beat Iowa 16-13. Those are the Iowa State Cyclones. NEM. That's a little Wizard of Oz for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like that?
It's lovely.
Okay. This game went as predicted. Ugly as hell, hideous football game, and nobody wins this game by more than 3.
Right.
Most important fact that we walked away with, Iowa State was favored by 3.5. We both took Iowa.
We got it right.
Stack those wins, baby.
I only put one note from this game. I watched way too much of it. Like, unfortunately, this is like the Iowa offense of like 2 years ago, like the Brian Ferentz years. Like last year, it looked a little better, but they had Caleb Johnson like running the football. This year, they don't have that. The FCS quarterback, what's his name? The Gronkowski, whatever they do.
Is he FCS or JC?
No, he was Montana. No, yeah, he was like won a national championship or 2 national championships.
Yeah.
He was, yeah.
Well, you know what he's not doing at Iowa?
Like completing passes. It's bad. Like really bad. There's so many national people I like would listen to and they're like, oh man, their offense is going to be, and the Iowa people were excited about it. And it's awful. This is the early games. Now Iowa State's a good team. This is why we have Iowa 16. Like this is not looking good.
No. They'll still win 8 games because why not? But not good right now.
And if you have any issues with the power rankings, I did them this week because
take them up with me.
Well, okay. Dave did week 1. I did this week, so we'll see. Number 15.
Purdue Boilermakers.
Purdue was taking on the Southern Illinois Salukis. What the hell is a Saluki? You like that?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, I thought that was good. They were taking them on. Southern Illinois is another FCS opponent.
Yeah.
So there is no line, and I don't care. They won Purdue 34-17.
Yeah. Not. You'd like it to be a little. It was close. This one was close early, which a little concerning. The Salukis had, I think, a couple scoring drives early, and then Purdue kind of buttoned things up a little bit, but a little concerning that wasn't.
You're concerned about Purdue?
No, for.
Because they've already doubled their win total from last year.
It's pretty amazing. I think Barry Odom's doing a nice job, like 81 new players. But when a game with no line, you don't want to win by 17 or whatever. So.
They'll take it.
Yeah.
They'll take their win.
The second win they'll take, yeah. The win number 2, when they were 1-11 last year, it's a big improvement. All right, number 14.
Maryland Terrapins.
What a disappointment for us.
Yeah.
This was one of the
You
Friday.
guys are dead to me now.
Yeah, this is one of the Friday games. The one that we were actually watching. Maryland failed to cover against Northern Illinois, winning 20-9, and that this was a going concern deep into this game. There was real danger of Northern Illinois pulling off another one of their patented road upsets, not unlike what they did last year against Notre Dame, except this would be far less impressive because it's Maryland. Malik Washington, once again, is pretty good. I will take away that positive for Maryland. But winning this 20-9 is, come on, guys. Come on. We both took Maryland to cover 16.5. We both failed.
Yeah. This was one I thought would start, I was like, hey, this is going to start the weekend well. I felt really confident in this one. No. And we bounced back after that and got a lot right. But, man, the Maryland one just kind of set a bad tone. And, yeah. I get it. Sometimes these tune-up games, you're just working on things, but this was pretty dicey from the beginning. So,
they're dead to us.
Yeah. If you don't cover, we're just going to forget you even exist.
Correct.
Number 13.
Michigan State Spartans.
Charge!
Wow, what a silly game. So Michigan
killed me.
Yeah, Michigan State.
I would have dominated you if this one.
I know. And instead, Boston College saved me. Boston College was a 4.5-point dog on the road. I'm just going to take those juicy points because these two teams, they play close games. And guess what happened? They went to, what was it? Was it double or triple overtime? Yeah.
Once it got to that, then I'm screwed because you can only get 2 points.
Yes. Double overtime. Michigan State ends up winning 42-40. I have a question, Ryan.
Yes.
Is Aiden Childs good?
That's my answer.
Has he arrived at good?
He's somewhere.
This is 2 games now where he has not actually given the ball to the other team.
I think he's decent. I think
Is Aiden Childs good?
he might be.
He might be good. Yeah, it was actually kind of a fun game. I was not anticipating this being fun and kind of a high-scoring nonsense game, but it really was. Both quarterbacks were good. It was a lot of fun to watch. I might actually tune into some Michigan State this year just for funsies.
Yeah.
Jonathan Smith maybe rounding into his offensive form.
I think BC had the lead most of the time, and it was tied. So I'm watching in the press box because this was a later game. It was on the same time as the USC game was on. So I was watching in the press box. It was tied at 24, and Michigan State scored a touchdown. And it was like, all right, going to cover. They called it back for holding. And then it was like field goal. And once it went to overtime, you're like, oh, there's a chance to cover like a 4.5 point spread in overtime, but it's really not good. So this was a bummer. But yeah, it's a good win for Michigan State. We'll see if they can build on it and see if Aiden Childs is actually good. All right. Speaking of good, wasn't good. Number 12.
Michigan Wolverines.
Scratch.
Ooh, baby. Number 15, Michigan traveled to number 18, Oklahoma, the Sooners. Well, I'm here early. I guess I'm going to steal some land. Do you like that one? I think I like that one a lot.
You get on the Sooners hard.
I
think that anyone that has the volunteers, anything like that, you like to jump on them a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Oklahoma was favored by 5.5. We both took Oklahoma. I guess we were both kind of unimpressed with what we saw from Michigan against New Mexico. And we were right. Oklahoma ended up winning by 11. They pretty much controlled this game early. It was 14-0 at halftime. Michigan did mount a bit of a comeback, but then Oklahoma kind of turned their water off again. Bryce Underwood was not anywhere near good enough. He looked like a true freshman on the road in his first game in a true road environment. Really inaccurate. It was 9 of 24 for 142 yards. Michigan was able to run the ball, but they're just, I don't know. It's been 2 straight years now of being kind of offensively challenged when it comes to passing.
Yeah.
And obviously Underwood's going to get a lot better. This is a tough first road test. I will say that, to have this be the first time that he's having to play in a hostile environment. It's Oklahoma with Brent Venables. That's a tough ask. But, I think for Michigan, it's, obviously it gets a little bit easier from here, but then they've got the Big Ten slate. So we will see, but I think they'll still be pretty good. But obviously a tough game.
Super tough game. I thought Oklahoma played well. We're familiar with John Mateer from the Washington State days. I mean, he looks legit. I think Oklahoma has a real defense. Brent Venables is just known for that. They've got better this year, it looks like. It was against this Michigan offense, which I think is pretty bad. But that on the offensive side, he can kind of be a little Aiden Childsy, but just, he can take off and run at any time and make some huge plays. And I think they're really excited about him. Everyone's obviously excited about Bryce Underwood, but you can't have 9 completions. Like, that's not, they didn't ask him to do much. Like, he only threw 24 times, but you only completed 9 of them. Like, that's not looking great right now. So, freshman quarterback, I think we're seeing a trend towards like the veteran guys that are doing better, which we sort of got away from that because you want to pay these kids to come in and play. But there's something to be said if you can do an Arch Manning and sit around and wait for a while, and not everyone's going to be able to do that. But the growing pains might be good, but it's not. I don't put this on Bryce. Like, just the offense in general doesn't look great. I'm not putting that all on the shoulders of the freshman quarterback. But you can't have a huge game like this and complete 9 passes and think you're gonna win. That ain't happening.
Yep.
Number 11.
Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
Scarlet Knight.
They were taking on the Miami, Ohio Redhawks. That was a hawk.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, it wasn't really a hawk. My big takeaway from this game is I'm really upset with the sportsmanship from Greg Schiano. They were up 14 on Miami of Ohio, and then just poured it on in the fourth quarter.
14-0
disgustingly,
in the fourth quarter.
Disgustingly.
To get the cover.
Because we both had Miami of Ohio.
Yes.
Plus 15
this looked
and a
like
half.
a good cover, and then.
And by the way, pouring it on included 1, 2. Well, no, he actually did pass it quite a bit on that second to last drive. Come on, you disgusting man.
Yeah.
Run the ball. Anyway, they scored 4. They controlled this one. It
looked like a cover.
It was a
like
little
Miami
bit close for a while. It wasn't like an easy win for Rutgers, but they did look better than they looked in week 1 against Ohio.
Yeah.
So this was an improvement, I think. They looked a little bit more comfortable in what they were doing on both sides of the ball, and eventually pulled away.
Yeah, I didn't like the late cover here. It looked pretty good for us, but So Rutgers,
Yeah, screw Greg Schiano.
Screw you. Whatever. Okay. Let's go to number 10.
Wisconsin Badgers.
I should have put them higher because they covered for me, but
Yeah, they were taking on the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders.
ooh,
We're the Raiders, but we're blue. I don't know what a Blue Raider is. Wisconsin won 42-10. Just beat the hell out of them. We both picked.
no, you picked Middle Tennessee.
I picked Middle Tennessee.
I had
and,
Wisconsin minus 28.5.
Yeah, and they
You should this was one you should have covered. Like, everything sort of had to
once
go.
again
right.
they screwed me in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
Pouring it on disgustingly. Hideous human beings. But I would say a big takeaway for Wisconsin, Danny O'Neill in his first start for them looked pretty good at quarterback. Obviously, it's against Middle Tennessee, so you don't know what to take from it. But another school that struggled with some passing offense last year looked pretty good in this game.
Yeah.
You'll take it.
So nice. if you watch the beginning part of the game, you're like, uh-oh, this is like Wisconsin playing with the food a little bit. Obviously, pour it on at the end. Get the cover, which is most important. Great teams cover. And that was one we had different. So on Wisconsin. We love you guys again. Oh, perfect. Okay. Number 9, we've got
Washington Huskies.
Washington was playing another well-timed game. I think it was at like 3 p.m., something like that.
8 p.m.
Oh.
on Big Ten Network.
Well, at least they're not screwing over a lot of the Pac-12 teams with weird time slots way late in the night, right? Like, nobody could have predicted.
USC got Michigan State at 8 p.m.
Huh.
Yeah. That was, I think they didn't have any last year. They had a bunch of early games. So.
Oh.
But
All right, so if I'm understanding correctly, geography did not change when all these schools moved to the Big Ten, and that time slot still does exist.
it does exist, and it's even 8 now. It's not even 7:30, so it's even like a little later.
Interesting. Well,
And
anyway.
that was on Big Ten Network. Like USC's at least playing like on Fox. Like this was 8 p.m. Big Ten Network game.
What's
They were up
what
late.
is the network? Remind me again. I'm confused here. Which network was it that pushed for all of the schools to go to the Big Ten? Which one was it?
The Pac-12 Network or
No, I think it starts with an F. Fox.
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 Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And
They own the Big
they
Ten
like to
Network.
play games at a certain time of night.
They do, yeah.
Yeah, and they have an ownership share in the Big Ten Network, right?
They do.
Okay. So just making sure we got all our facts here.
You got
Okay, cool. And the Big Ten, those other teams, they can't play home games at 8 p.m., right? Pacific time?
No, because that's 11 p.m. their time.
But all the West Coast schools, they can still play home games at 8
and
p.m.
they do, yes.
Right. Okay. Got it. Okay, cool. Just making sure we got all our facts straight. Washington taking on the UC Davis Aggies. We're working in a field. Washington beat
It was like 100
the hell out of them,
Yeah.
70-10. I don't think this one had a line.
No, there was no line.
Yeah, we don't care.
Yeah. Number 8.
Minnesota Golden Gophers.
Another absolute no-line game that we don't care about. Minnesota won 66-0 over Northwestern State. You want to know a fact I learned about Northwestern State while I was doing my story? First, their nickname is the Demons.
That was very loud.
Was that demonic?
And loud. Yes.
Okay, cool. Also, they're located where? Pick a state. What state do you think Northwestern State is located in?
Kentucky.
Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
What the hell?
When I think of Louisiana, I think Northwestern.
Yeah. Stop naming your school Northwestern if it's in the middle of the country.
Yeah.
I was going to do a Sorry Griffin, but I decided not to.
Yeah. All right.
I don't care what year it was when you named your school. You knew Lewis and Clark had already done their shit. You knew there was a bunch of stuff out there, and you knew you're a country of a bunch of imperialists. I'm talking about you now, Northwestern. You're not going to be Northwestern forever. Don't call yourselves that. It's stupid.
What about Michigan's fight song says the champions of the West?
Yeah. What's going on, guys?
You're not the West?
Like, you guys have charted this.
Midwest?
Like, people have been around the globe at this point. We know there's a lot of land over there.
Champions of the
Northwestern people, they're always like, oh, well, when it was named, or, oh, it was part of the Northwest Purchase, or some whatever, Northwest Territory. I don't care. Is it an ordinal direction that you are not?
All righty. Moving on. We got number 7.
Nebraska Cornhuskers.
I'm peeling corn.
That's right.
I got them this high just because I got this one.
They were taking on the very, very aptly named Akron Zips. Nebraska won 68-0. Ryan, did we both pick this one correctly?
I did. It was 34.5 points, and I took Nebraska to cover.
Yeah.
You took those moist 34.5 points. And
didn't work out so well for me.
Still lost by like 3 touchdowns.
The best part about this game was afterwards they posted a video, a leaked video of Matt Rule absolutely annihilating his team at halftime and basically exhorting them to just paste this Akron team. Like,
it was 33-0.
Yeah, I want to see you guys kill them. I want to see you guys. I want them to say, I don't want to see your name or ever again, or whatever the hell it was. It was awesome. And anyway, they then poured it on for another 35 points.
Yeah, I was texting my buddy who went to Nebraska because early on it was like 12-0. They were like kicking field goals. I think they fumbled on the goal line or threw an intercept. Like they were just kind of screwing around. And I'm like, Dave, are they going to cover this? My buddy's also Dave, and he's like, yeah, you got it. And then they just kept piling it on. So that was a glorious one. That was a no sweat cover against David. So that was a fun one.
True.
All right, number 6.
USC Trojans.
USC. Wow. I found this game pretty disrespectful to a USC great. Georgia Southern came in, the Eagles.
Good Eagles.
They came in, the Fighting Clay Heltons, what we might call them.
Yeah.
They came in and disrespectfully, Clay Helton was booed to begin the game.
He was.
Do USC fans realize he is the only Rose Bowl winning head coach they've had since Pete Carroll? Do they realize that?
I think they might.
I don't think they do.
You thought they should build a state to him or something?
Statue, sir?
Oh.
I would thank you. I would thank you
That was
in
not what you
advance to be tolerant of typos.
Your response was funny.
USC won 59-20. I believe we both took USC. We did,
yeah.
There was a
It was
time
28.5, I think.
there was a time when this game looked like not like Georgia Southern was going to threaten, but that they might make it weird and not like totally enjoyable. And then USC just kind of crushed them in the second half. But it was like the first half was just weird.
Yeah, it was 6-0 Georgia Southern. Like USC fumbled like the first, and then Georgia Southern scored, so it was like 6-0 to start.
But I would say like right now, and I think I said this to Ryan off air at one point. My early, like I always am down on USC. I will say they look different this year. Like they look like a competent football team in a way that they didn't really even last year. Even when they were beating LSU, there was still like kind of that.
Yeah.
They're kind of back to the Lincoln Riley offense of like we're gonna blow you away and you've got to score literally every time you touch the ball or else it's gonna be bad for you. So I think their floor. I don't know. I mean, if I'm looking at their schedule now, given the information we have, I think their floor is 9-3. Like I think they're gonna be. I think they're gonna be pretty good.
I still have them like 8-4 as like par, but they do look better.
Like if you look at it, Purdue this weekend they're going to be favored by a bunch. We'll go over that in a second. Michigan State they'll be favored.
Yeah.
Illinois maybe they lose that one. Michigan at home they're blowing them away. At Notre Dame maybe they lose that one, but then it's Nebraska, Northwestern, Iowa. They should win all of those going away. The team I've seen anyway, and then it's at Oregon. So is at Oregon a loss? Probably. And UCLA they're going to blow away.
Yeah.
That's 9-3.
Yeah,
and they could beat Illinois or Notre Dame.
Yeah, but they could lose some of these too. I don't know. But they do look they outscored their opponents by 99 the first 2 weeks. Like they have the number 1 passing offense, all that stuff. It's crazy. And Jade Mayava looks good. He's not turned the ball over yet. They've run the ball well. Wayman Jordan, he won the JC Heisman last year. He looks awesome. And Mekhi Lemon had a 62-yarder and a 74-yarder, and Jacoby Lane had like a really sick one-handed touchdown catch. So everything looks in place, but the competition obviously wasn't great. I thought Clay Helton, like they had the team ready. I think the guys were fighting for him, and they still lost by 39. So I don't know. We'll see. They got to go on the road and win, and they're playing at Purdue this weekend. But they've struggled on the road in the Big Ten last year. Lincoln Riley said they're changing some of the travel stuff up. We'll see, but. Yeah, it's a great start, but you got to watch them play some real teams and see if they're able to keep it up. But they do look a lot better. I think they should be like a ranked team at this point. But yeah, we'll see. All right, number 5.
Indiana Hoosiers.
Hey, folks. I'm from Indiana.
Indiana was taking on the Kennesaw State Owls. Whoo!
Yeah.
Whoo!
This was kind of frustrating. This was definitely...
He knows the score. He gets the women. Signetti kills.
But in the second half.
Yeah, this looked like Kennesaw State cover the whole way, and then it just went total Signetti kills on them in the second half.
We both had Kennesaw State covering 35.5. Indiana won by 47, 56-9.
Yeah.
It was the second half. Early on, it looked like Kennesaw State was going to hang in there.
Yeah,
this
they
is
did.
like, given how recent they are to FBS, they actually look kind of like a competent football team, like well coached. I mean, obviously they're lacking a lot of talent, but pretty well coached. But then just blown away in the second half.
They turned the ball over a lot in the second half. It just once that started happening, Indiana they scored every time they touched the ball. Kennesaw State would turn it over, but it was just sort of going back and forth. And you're like, okay, Indiana's going to win this game, but it's not going to be by 40 or whatever. And then in the second half, Kennesaw State just kept screwing up. And to credit Indiana, like they took advantage of every little mistake and just put it to them the entire second half.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so Indiana they looked more like the Signetti kills of last year. So that's a good sign. We'll see. There's some good games and stuff coming up with them. But all right, number 4, we got
Illinois Fighting Illini.
Hi, I'm from Illinois.
Illinois was on the road taking on the Duke Blue Devils. I'm a devil and I'm blue. I don't know what that was.
It's a Blue Devil. It's the second blue team.
I know. These are weird names. Number 11, Illinois. They traveled to Duke. They won 45-19. So Illinois covered. We both had them covering because we know Illinois is good. And Duke kind of isn't. They looked, honestly, my big takeaway from this game, I mean, I think Illinois is pretty good. Like, I think, they've got Luke Altmaier. He's pretty good. Darian Mensah wasn't good for Duke. I didn't think their offense looked very good at all. And I just think, Illinois was able to pour it on late in this game.
Yes.
Like they didn't really have a comfortable lead until midway through the fourth quarter. I think Mensah threw a bad pick driving towards the Illinois red zone. And it was just kind of snowballed from there. But great win for Illinois. They needed this one to kind of, get through non-conference play. And I think they've established themselves as a, secondary Big Ten contender, not unlike Indiana last year.
Yeah, and if you didn't watch this game and just looked at the score, you're like, this was a blowout. I watched this pretty intently in the morning. Illinois' offensive line was not good. They gave up 8 tackles for loss in the first half. That front for Duke was really active. Manny Diaz, he can coach defense and stuff. And they just couldn't it was close, but it was like they were getting so much stuff blown up at the line of scrimmage. You're like, what is going on here? In the second half, like Duke just made mistake after mistake after mistake. There was 5 turnovers from Duke. They also the weirdest one, this didn't count as a turnover, but it should be. I don't know if you saw this one, David. Illinois punts the ball. And I think the score is fairly close, or maybe Illinois is up a touchdown or something. They punt the ball, fourth down, punt the ball. Duke receives a punt, return, whatever, gets tackled. They run it back. They say, no, Duke had 2 number 8s on the field. So then Illinois gave Illinois a first down. They go down and score a touchdown. Like, there was stuff like that happening. It looked like Manny Diaz didn't know what the hell was going on. So you give Illinois credit, but it was closer than this. And it's a road game and everything, but man, Duke gave them a lot of gifts, and to Illinois' credit, they took advantage of those. But there were so many mistakes. It just looked like, but just line play, like Duke hung with Illinois for sure, and they were pushing the offensive line around. So that could be a little concern going forward because they gave up a lot of tackles for loss, at least early in this game.
Yep.
I was watching this one. I'm like, it looked like Duke was outplaying them, but then just as far as the team, Illinois was a more buttoned-up team. They had the I's were dotted, T's were crossed, and they just waited for Duke to make mistakes, and they made a shit ton of them. All right, I got this team number 3. You can yell at me if you don't think I'm correct.
Penn State Nittany Lions.
Rawr.
I think it's fair. I mean, when you only beat the Fashion Institute of Design and Management by 34, I think that's kind of
They didn't cover.
They didn't cover again, and we both took FIU because we were expecting it. Penn State won 34-0. So the defense, I will say that, is still there. I think the kind of same sort of offensive questions we seem to always have about Penn State, where it's like, why isn't this better?
It could have been better.
They were once again kind of just there. Once again, I have questions about receiving. Like, do they have receivers? Are they any good? I don't know. I still don't know.
They got a bunch of transfers in.
Yeah.
How did Kyron Hudson do, the former USC guy? I don't know what he did.
He had 5 for 37 yards.
Okay.
But, like, they're not – they just –
No.
They don't – it's just something about this offense, but also I think something about the guys they get where it's just they're not – they don't make productive plays to the extent that they should given the, like, talent level of everyone around them. They can still run the ball. I mean, Katrin Allen and Nicholas Singleton had a combined – what the hell was it? 220 yards on almost 30 carries. They're still really good, but it's just it always looks like so much more of a struggle than it needs to be offensively for Penn State. They won 34-0, so you can't complain too much. But it was 10-0 at halftime. Like,
it was 10-0 at halftime. It was just like, uh-oh. And they kept scoring a little bit, but like the cover wasn't too much in danger.
Yeah.
But when you shut a team out and you still didn't cover, like. They could have obviously you could score more than 10 points in the first half. That was concerning.
I want to see more. I want to see them put 70 on Villanova this weekend.
Yeah. So, if you're going to be like a national championship contender, you're going to be a Big Ten, champion contender, you're going to do stuff like what this team did in week 2. Number 2.
Oregon Ducks.
Holy hell. So I was tuning into this one while I was getting into the press box at UNLV. I think when I got in the press box, it was 41-3, right? And so I'm like, oh, wow, they're really putting it to them. Really crushing them. Oregon, this is Oregon versus Oklahoma State.
Yeah. The Cowboys.
I look down. I'm not kidding. I look down for like 2 minutes. I look back up, and I believe at that point it was 55-3.
I think that was the back-to-back pick sixes.
Yes. Yeah. And then I look down again, and then I look back up, and it's 69-3. Yeah. Like, it was so fast that they went from, oh, okay, it's a blowout, to, holy shit, it's a blowout. And the thing is, in there, I think they missed a field goal, too. Like, it wasn't like, here is Oklahoma State's drive chart in the third quarter. You ready for this? 3 plays, punt. 3 plays, punt. 3 plays, punt. 1 play, interception, pick 6. 2 plays, interception, pick 6. No, and those were the cappers. No, the one I was talking about it when it was they scored the touchdown to go up 48, and then it was like 4 minutes later, I guess they scored the next touchdown to go up 55-3. Oh. The pick 6 is capped it. Crazy game. Anyway, obviously Oregon's really good, and Oklahoma State is a shadow of its former self. Dante Moore continues to look like a competent quarterback, and their run game. Many people took part, and they ran for 312 yards on 37 carries.
Wild.
That is a very good Oregon team. We will see how Dante Moore does against real competition, because clearly this wasn't it, but he's had a pretty good start to the year.
Mike Gundy poked the bear before
he sure did.
Oh my God!
Don't give motivator head coach Dan Lanning something to be motivated about.
Do you remember the Colorado game when it was like we're about clicks, you just give them something.
Do not give motivator head coach Lan Danning anything to be motivated about.
This was just a bloodbath.
Yeah.
So sorry, Penn State. Oregon looks for real. That's a Power 4 team, and they just dismantled them. So there was not 10-0 at half. I guess you could argue you could put Oregon number 1, but this team looks pretty darn good too, and they're the defending national champions. So we'll go with number 1.
The Ohio State Buckeyes.
But they beat the hell out of something called Grambling, so I don't care.
Yeah. What was the score of this one? Did you have
70-0.
Yeah. So Penn State, you didn't do that to either, whatever. So that's why we dropped it to 3. So We'll see. But they got some big ones coming up. All right, let's preview these games and jump in here. There'll be a little bit less because we got a couple of Big Ten games. We also have a bunch of no-line games that really won't preview or pick. But first up, we've got
Indiana Hoosiers.
Hey, folks. I'm from Indiana.
Friday, September 12th at 3:30 p.m. on the Big Ten Network. Indiana State, they are the Sycamores. Is that a tree falling over?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Larry Bird's alma mater. I believe.
Taking on number 22, Indiana. There's no line. We don't care.
Yeah. All right. This is like maybe the most important game of the weekend. We've got
UCLA Bruins.
Wow.
7 p.m. on the Big Ten Network on Friday. New Mexico Lobos. I don't know what a Lobo is. I think we've talked about this
it's a
before.
wolf or something.
Oh, right. It's a wolf. How? I kind of lost my voice there at the end. Let me try again. How?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I like it.
New Mexico traveling to UCLA. UCLA is a 15.5 point favorite. Here's what I know about New Mexico. They're not very good. This will be the worst opponent that UCLA plays this year. They lost to Michigan on the road. We watched that game. Michigan didn't look very good, and then Michigan didn't look very good the next week. So we don't know how good Michigan is, but they did go to the Big House and do that. So, okay.
What was the Michigan score? The New Mexico. It was
34-17, something like that.
Yeah, like I remember this.
They played a competitive-ish game. Then they hosted Idaho State. Famously, Idaho State lost to UNLV by 7. They lost by 10 to New Mexico, but that's still FCS Idaho State, mid-level FCS. So I don't think New Mexico is very good. The question is, are they good enough to beat UCLA? Because UCLA is also not very good. New Mexico doesn't have a dual threat quarterback, so they can't take advantage of UCLA's, I won't call it edge containment. Acquiescence. They can't take advantage of UCLA's edge acquiescence as well as the two teams they've played this year. However, they do have 3 talented running backs, all of whom starred at the FCS or lower level before arriving at New Mexico. So there's something there. I mean, I would take Jason Eck as a head coach against pretty much anybody, and certainly UCLA. I'm going to take New Mexico in the points. I don't think they're going to win, but I do think it'll be close. I'm not sold on anything regarding UCLA right now, and I would need to be sold on UCLA to some level to think they're going to win this by 3 scores.
Like that late comeback didn't do it for you.
No, I would need to see a lot more. Like I would have needed to see them. You could even lose to UNLV, but if you did it while, you scored 38, they scored 45, you could talk me into it.
Yeah.
Like if the offense was gangbusters, I'd say, yeah, there's no way New Mexico's keeping up. But I kind of think New Mexico to win this game only needs to score like 30. Could they do it? Maybe.
Yeah.
But I also don't think they're going to be held under 20. So I think it's going to be maybe UCLA wins by a touchdown or 10 points, something like that.
Yeah, 15.5 is a lot, especially when UCLA wasn't scoring that much. And New Mexico, like they hung with Michigan. We've seen, New Mexico's. You saw what was at New Mexico in the opener against UCLA at Utah, and USC has a really speedy running back that came from New Mexico. They lost guys to the portal, but still look like they're pretty competitive. I like UCLA to win this one, but I think it's just too many points, so I'll take. Could UCLA put it together and blow out New Mexico? Sure, that could happen. But the reason this game is really important, I forgot to bring this up in the beginning. If you're in our survivor pool, you got to be strategic. The first 3 weeks, you have to pick 2 teams. And we had 252 total entries. There's 190 of you that have survived. Most of the people that lost last week picked UCLA to get that win. But a lot of people that survived, obviously UCLA is 0-2. So no one has survived has picked UCLA yet. This is a week that you could pick UCLA. Like David mentioned, this is the worst team they're going to play.
Guys, this is the week to pick UCLA.
This is the week to pick UCLA. So week 2 winners, there's 394 winners, and Matthew says it's not a typo because you have to make 2 picks. So everyone picks, so a bunch of people had 1 right, but you need to get both right. Most people had picked Northwestern and Wisconsin this past week, but we had a bunch of Purdue's and Rutgers and Minnesota's as well. So 190 survivors. He's picking UCLA and Rutgers this week. I believe I am doing the same.
I already took Rutgers, so I'm taking UCLA and Michigan State.
Okay. I looked at Michigan State and Rutgers and felt like the Michigan State had a few, more winnable games later than Rutgers did, but you had already taken Rutgers, so you can't do that. But make sure you get your picks in. He wants to remind everybody, if you missed last week, sorry, you're out. You can't come back in. If you got it wrong last week, don't send it, because then he just has to tabulate and go through it. But we appreciate Matthew doing this, and we do have Trader Joe's gift cards, so we definitely have prizes for you guys. But yes, that's why it's really important. A lot of people, if UCLA if New Mexico wins, a lot of people in the survivor pool are going to be out. Maybe everybody, I don't know, but a lot of people will be out.
Correct.
Okay, we have an early morning Big Ten game. We've got
Oregon Ducks.
at a team that's not located where their name indicates.
Northwestern Wildcats.
9 a.m. on Saturday on Big Fox. Number 4, Oregon traveling to Northwestern. Northwestern is a 27.5-point home dog. Yeah. I'm going to need to see Oregon not blow a team away first before I predict them not to blow a team away. So give me Oregon. Northwestern, correct me if I'm wrong, they're the team that lost by 20 to Tulane on the road?
Yes.
Correct. Okay. Yeah, Oregon here. Oregon big time.
Whew. Yeah, I got to go Oregon. There's no way. Like, that's under 4 touchdowns. Like, yes, Oregon could go and not play as well on the road after just putting a lot into the Mike Gundy destruction. But I don't think Northwestern is going to be that good, and I think Oregon is. So I think they're going to blow them out. This is a big one. We've got
Wisconsin Badgers.
They're taking on the number 19 Alabama Crimson Tide. That sound at the end was the red.
The red. That sounded very red.
Yeah. Alabama's 1-1. They beat the hell out of UL Monroe, took out their frustration from the Florida State game on them. Is Wisconsin more Florida State, or are they more Louisiana Monroe? That's the real question here. This is 9 a.m. on ABC. Wisconsin traveling to Tuscaloosa to take on Bama. Bama's a 20.5-point favorite. I'm going to go vibes here. I like Wisconsin because I think defensively they can cause Bama some issues. I don't know how easily they're going to score, but that being said, I haven't been super impressed with Alabama's defense since Kalen DeBoer took over. Like, it's not Nick Saban level Alabama defense. So I don't know. I like this as like a 14-point game, not 21.
I agree with you. Could Alabama put it together and just boat race Wisconsin? It's certainly possible. I think Florida State actually looks a lot better. I mean, it was surprising just because they won 2 games last year, and they were able to just take it to Alabama in week 1 at home. So I get it. Like, this could be a different story, but this isn't a juggernaut Alabama squad. It's, there's a lot of talent all over the place. But Wisconsin's looked a little bit better. I feel like they could keep this one close. I think Alabama's going to win, but 20.5, that's just too many points for me. I'll take the points.
Fair enough.
Next up, we've got
Michigan Wolverines.
Scratch.
9 a.m. on the Big Ten Network, Central Michigan. I think that's a Chippewa.
You think you're right.
What the hell is a Chippewa? Is that a Native American tribe?
I believe so.
Okay. I don't know, man. They're taking on number 23 Michigan on the road. Michigan is a 28.5-point favorite. Obviously taking Central Michigan here. We haven't seen anything out of Michigan to indicate that they're going to blow a team away. Yeah, I feel very comfortable with that.
I kind of want to go against you, but it's hard. Central Michigan beat San Jose State by 2
Okay.
What was the other one they had? They had.
They lost to somebody.
Yeah,
they lost to Pitt by 28.
Man, and I don't think Pitt's. I'm gonna. God, this kills me. I'm gonna.
Pitt's fine.
Yeah.
Pitt beat Duquesne 61-9.
Yeah.
You do what you want to do. You're taking Michigan. You're taking.
I'm gonna go against you.
Okay.
I feel like they're gonna bounce back a little bit after the disappointment. This is probably dumb.
It's a dumb idea.
Do you remember last week though? I said, "Why am I taking Wisconsin to win by like 34.5 points? Like that's just terrible."
Yeah.
And they probably shouldn't have covered. They end up covering. My gut was right then. I'm going to go with it again. I think Michigan might score late to get this cover here.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. I don't know, just a gut feeling. Plus, we haven't gone against each other yet, so I'll just go against you on this one. Next up,
Nebraska Cornhuskers.
I'm peeling corn.
Sorry in advance, Griffin. Who the fuck are these teams? I've never heard of this school. Houston Christian?
I think it used to be Houston Baptist.
Okay.
You heard of that, right?
Yeah, but
I believe so. I think it's
9 a.m. on the FS1, Houston Christian, the FS1. I've never sounded more like my mom. Like just putting a definitive article in front of something that does not require it. Yeah.
Like PCH, you don't say it.
I'm gonna drive down the PCH.
No.
Houston Christian
Or the NIL.
The NIL.
You don't say the NIL.
Houston Christian. They are the Huskies.
Okay.
They're taking on Nebraska on FS1. There's no line. We don't care.
Yeah. Win by 1 million. All right. Also at 9 a.m. How many 9 a.m.s? 1, 2, 3.
Too many.
5 9 a.m. games. Okay. We got
Maryland Terrapins.
Snap.
9 a.m. on Peacock. The Towson Tigers. Taking on Maryland. No line. We don't care.
another no line.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's that must be it. There can't be any more. Next up,
Penn State Nittany Lions.
Rawr.
Hey, in a big switch, this one's on at 12:30.
okay.
12:30 p.m. on FS1. It's the Villanova Wildcats taking on number 2 Penn State, but unfortunately, there's no line on this one either. We don't care.
Boo. All right. Another Big Ten game. We got
USC Trojans.
on the road at
Purdue Boilermakers.
All right, Purdue, Barry Odom. They've won their first 2 games pretty comfortably. Purdue.
they have.
Now they're hosting USC. How much do you think what they've been gearing their entire preseason to is this game? Like they've got it circled on their calendar? Like this is a big one for
Purdue?
us? Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
USC, meanwhile, they just got through, obviously, the game they had circled.
Clay Helton.
Taking on the Fighting Clay Heltons at home.
Yeah. The athletic department knew they couldn't lose that game, so they had to focus on it.
Yes. It's their first, I won't say test. Test is putting it a little strong. But it's their first real football game against a real football opponent. I'm taking Purdue.
Yeah.
Plus 20.5. That's too many points.
I am doing the same. Like my gut says they're going to roll Purdue. But do you know the last time they won a game in a time zone that wasn't the Pacific or Mountain?
When?
It's like 2012. Like they beat, I think it was, they beat Syracuse like at a neutral site game or something in 2012. They beat Notre Dame in 2011. And then I think with Minnesota, they played at Minnesota in 2010. But, you know, they mostly were playing Notre Dame. They just wouldn't win. They haven't beat Notre Dame since 2011. But last year, went to Maryland, lost, went to Minnesota, lost, Michigan, lost. So they've struggled outside of the Western time zones. And I think they're going to win this game, but that's just a lot of points. And until they show me that they're actually like for real, and not against tomato cans, like, yeah, I'm not. I think I took them to cover like 16 or something at Maryland last year, and they lost, you know, and those were fourth quarter leads in all those games they lost. So until they go on the road and actually do something, I am not going to take them to cover a 3-touchdown spread. So that's my rationale. We'll see if I'm right. Next up,
Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
Scarlet Knight.
This is another 12:30 game on the Big Ten Network. The Norfolk State Spartans.
ooh,
We're going to war, and we commit pederasty.
better.
Norfolk State traveling to Rutgers. Rutgers isn't favored by anything because there's no line. We don't care.
Yeah. Sorry, I would try to look at the. Jim D says Houston Christian has had a football team since 2013. Wow. Crazy. Okay.
Wow.
All right. Next up, that was just Rutgers. Okay. Speaking of Spartans,
Michigan State Spartans.
Charge!
You ready for this shit? All right, 12:30 p.m. on the Big Ten Network. Youngstown State. You want to know what their mascot is? I could give you 3,000 guesses and you wouldn't get it.
okay. So just tell me then.
Penguins.
Oh, I kind of knew this.
You didn't know that.
I think I've heard of that.
You didn't know it. If I'd given you 3,000 guesses, you still wouldn't
If you would have
gotten
gave
it.
me a multiple choice of 10, I would have got it.
Multiple choice, but you wouldn't be able to guess it free off the dome.
True. Yes.
Yes. They are traveling to Michigan State. There's no line on this game. We don't care.
Another no line game.
Yep.
David, did you make this schedule? What is going on here?
It's a hideous schedule.
Okay. Should we just skip this week?
Maybe.
No, we got to do it. All right.
We're already, an hour into the show.
All right. Next up, we got
The Ohio State Buckeyes.
4 p.m. on Peacock. The entire state of Ohio named the Bobcats. No, that wasn't a cat. There we go. That's more of a cat. They're traveling to Ohio State. So the state of Ohio traveling to Ohio State. There we go. On Peacock, number 1, Ohio State. They're hosting. This game has a line. Woohoo!
it does.
Ohio State is favored by 30.5 points. Last we saw Ohio, or maybe not the last, but one of the last times we saw Ohio, they were playing Rutgers in a competitive game on the road.
34-31.
Can they do the same with Ohio State?
You're thinking about it. Last week they beat West Virginia. Ohio beat West Virginia 17-10.
Give me Ohio.
Ooh, okay.
I wasn't sold on Julian Sayin in game 1. Obviously, that was against Texas, but I wasn't really sold on him as like a dynamic thrower. Ohio State is built to, I think, beat the living hell out of teams that are way worse than them, and Ohio probably is. But, they were competitive-ish against Rutgers. They could maybe hang this within, 4 touchdowns.
That's wishful thinking, baby.
Yeah, it sure is.
Ohio State, they're going to roll.
Fair enough.
If it was of like a 35.5, I probably would go Ohio. But I just feel like Ohio State's going to just blow this team out. So let's see. But yeah, big win last week against West Virginia. Who's the coach at West Virginia? What's his name? He was Arizona's coach, Rich Rodriguez. So that's a rough one there. But I think Ohio State's going to blow this team away. So I will take the Buckeyes. All right. We've got a top 10 team now.
Illinois Fighting Illini.
Hi, I'm from Illinois.
This is 4 p.m. on FS1 Western Michigan, traveling to number 9 Illinois. Number 9 Illinois is a 27.5 point favorite. What has Western Michigan done? They have lost 23-6 to Michigan State at home, and they've lost 33-30 to North Texas at their place.
Yeah.
I like Illinois.
Yeah,
They're covering the 27.5.
Yeah, like I said, they didn't look as great as the score indicated, but they still blew out Duke on the road. I think they can blow out a Western Michigan team that's not like they've won games. Like I think Illinois will win by at least 4 touchdowns. So I will take Illinois. Also, let's go. Got 2 more left.
Iowa Hawkeyes.
This one is taking place at 4:30 on the Big Ten Network. The Massachusetts Minutemen.
This is killing me.
We're going to fight at Yorktown. No, not Yorktown. Lexington and Concord. Is it Concord or Concord?
I usually say Concord, but yeah.
Is that
Concord? Concord. Like
Concord.
if you want to say it like a New Englander, yeah.
They're taking on Iowa. Iowa's a favorite by 35.5 points. Iowa this year has scored 47 points. So they're favored to win by 35.5. And they haven't scored that yet in a game this year. And they played Albany. And they won by 27. Yeah, no way. No way in hell am I taking Iowa to cover 35.5. Are you crazy? Vegas, are you crazy? I don't care who Massachusetts is. I don't care who they've lost to. Oh, they lost to Temple by 32? Great. Who cares? They lost to something called Bryant? Fine. I don't care. I don't care. Iowa's winning this by they're winning it 23-0.
So Bryant, like growing up in Massachusetts, Bryant was like one of those local schools that people would go to. You know, like there's just so many schools. Like every freaking town has a college in New England, and that's how I know Bryant, because people had gone there. I didn't even know they had a freaking football team, and they beat Massachusetts. They beat UMass. So as much as it killed me to think Iowa's going to score 35.5 points, let alone win by it, UMass looks bad, down bad is what the kids say. I'm going to grab a razor blade, hold it to my wrist, and pick Iowa to cover 35.5 points.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Okay. We got one last one. We've got
Minnesota Golden Gophers.
They're on the road taking on
California Golden Bears.
Makes me sad.
Shout out to the POC.
7:30 p.m.
We're still that, I guess, but yeah.
7:30 p.m. on ESPN. Minnesota traveling to Cal. Cal is a 1.5 point home dog to the Minnesota Golden Gophers. I don't know a damn thing about Cal this year.
Their quarterback, the freshman quarterback's a stud.
Yeah, he's really, really good. He is left-handed, so
Ooh.
That's not great.
I don't like that.
They beat up on Oregon State on the road. They beat Texas Southern at home. I'm taking Cal. I'm riding with the POC.
Wow. I'm going the Golden Gophers.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'll just take this is kickoff at 10:30 p.m. Minnesota time because it's at Cal. But yeah, that quarterback, he looked really special. There was like Oregon fans that were just like, oh, it's no big deal. Like, he looks like an upgrade from Mendoza, But I think Minnesota's got better players most of everywhere else. And yeah, I think it's going to be some weird one. If it was more than if it was 3 or more, I think I would take Cal. But just 1.5, I would take Minnesota. I feel like Cal kind of figures out ways to lose these games a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I will go with Minnesota. So we had a bunch of games we picked differently. This should be a really interesting week. All right, why don't we take a quick break and we'll come back and do your questions. All righty, we're back here on the podcast of Champions. We just did a lot going on, so I haven't paid too much attention to the chat, but if you're live on YouTube, thanks for that. I will try to look for questions there. But we also have a lot of questions that have been emailed in or voicemailed. Let's start with some of these voicemails. We'll go with Perk, our buddy, to kick it off.
Hey, what's up, Ryan and Dave? It's Perk. My question this week mainly is for Dave. I kind of just through watching UCLA football largely take my cues and just thoughts from kind of stuff you've said on the podcast. And so, and just kind of watching them the past 2 weeks, I know they had a rough start to the season last year, but they were kind of able to cobble things together and put up some wins and also look competitive in some moments. And so I guess going back to the changes between last year and this year, I'm wondering, do you ascribe them to having just less talent than they had last year? Did they lose enough? Did they lose too many guys and didn't really replace them with quality players? Or just the struggle so far this year, do you mainly just attribute that to coaching instead, and that it's been some of the issues that UCLA's had in the past of they've had the talent, but just the coaching's not there? And then on I guess a different note, it seemed like Deshaun Foster was able to keep things from kind of bottoming out after their bad start last year. And I'm wondering, I know you have extremely limited to no access with UCLA football now, but do you get the sense that Deshaun Foster can keep things together, or do you think this is the year, kind of similar to Ryan Walters last year at Purdue, where it just bottoms out, the players stop believing, and it's going to get ugly? Just curious to get your thoughts. Thanks, guys.
Great questions, Perk. I'll start with the first one. I would say it's mostly talent. Now, obviously, that's not to absolve the coaching staff, because in today's world of college football, you're replacing your talent pretty much every year. So you have to do a good job, especially at UCLA. You have to do a good job evaluating and acquiring, talent at a reasonable rate. So that means trolling through the G5 ranks and, finding undervalued assets, that whole thing. They did a fair enough job at times under Chip Kelly with that. I don't think they did a good job this offseason. They're trying to replace essentially 4 NFL players on defense. And none of those guys that have been put in there are NFL players. And then the non-NFL players they're trying to replace, I think they've downgraded at a lot of spots. My concern as we rounded into the final stretch before the season, my concern as I went through each position group is I don't think they've upgraded anywhere. I'm looking at it. Defensive line looks like a downgrade. Linebacker looks like a downgrade. Edge rush looks like a downgrade. Secondary looks like a downgrade. And when I was going through it, it was they replaced all these guys with guys who didn't start last year where they were. In the secondary, it was 5 new starters, none of whom started last year for their former school. That's probably not going to work out well. And I'm not being facetious. That's just you'd have to hit on a lot of just kind of shot in the dark evals to make that work, and they didn't, or at least they haven't yet. So my initial read on their major issue, which is defense, is it's talent. On offense, I'm willing to give them a little bit more grace and say they're early on in the scheme. Their quarterback didn't arrive until August, or didn't start practicing with the team until August. He arrived over the summer. So they didn't get a spring ball with him, which is a more common occurrence now than it used to be, but still, most of the time you've got your starting quarterback there in April for your spring ball, so he gets installed and starts to build a rhythm with the guys. They're not there yet, and you can see that lack of rhythm with his receivers on the field, where just missed connections by that much. And I know that was the knock on Nico. You don't need to tell me, Tennessee fans. I know that was the knock on him. But they're missing him in ways that weren't the issue in Tennessee. So I do think some of it's just timing and reps with each other. But I would say the number one concern for me is more the offensive line, which, again, sort of like the defense, they replaced with a lot of guys who mostly didn't start at their previous spots. Cortland Ford hasn't started at left tackle for anybody since 2022. When was he last at USC?
I think it was the 2022,
yeah. He was penciled in as the starter at left tackle. He's already been replaced. He was replaced at halftime of UNLV because he wasn't performing well. Sam Ewan at center, he's really struggled. I don't want to pick on individual players, but he's really struggled, and they don't have another one.
You kind of are.
They don't have another guy who can fill into that role.
Yeah.
And then they also brought in Julian Armella, who's starting at right guard. He wasn't a starter at Florida State. Eugene Brooks at Oklahoma, he was a redshirt freshman, so that's fair. He's normal development path for a talented redshirt freshman, so he's probably the bright light on the offensive line so far. But I would say, again, it's a talent issue on the offensive line, and I don't know how you fix that. So I think they can get better offensively as Nico develops more of a rhythm. I think he's a supreme talent. He's very fast. He's very athletic. He's got a strong arm. He's just got to get a little bit more rhythm. But I would say just talent-wise, they're down. And I don't know that there's what they were able to do last year. I don't think that's in the offing. And that's the other thing, and your second part of your question. Last year, when they were going bad, there was a narrative to push, which was we had to play Indiana, at LSU, Oregon, at Penn State, all in a row to start the year. So guys, we can do this because we've gone through the toughest part of our schedule.
Yeah.
Let's hang together because we've got some wins ahead of us. This year, this is the easiest part of the schedule. Like what they're experiencing right now is the easiest part of the schedule. And so what they've got coming up the next 2 weeks, these are the next 2 opportunities for wins, and they might be the next and only real opportunities for wins. It's New Mexico, and then after the bye week at Northwestern. So you can build some confidence there. But then it's Penn State, at Michigan State, Maryland at home, at Indiana, Nebraska at home, at Ohio State, Washington, and at USC. As it stands right now, they're not going to be favored in any of those games. Now, that could change based on results.
Maybe Maryland.
As it stands right now, they would not be favored. But maybe it changes based on results. But I just think it's going to be harder to build like a good narrative because you're not putting the hardest parts of your schedule behind you, because the hardest part of your schedule is coming in the last 5 weeks of the season. You know, at Indiana, Nebraska, at Ohio State, Washington, at USC. All 5 of those games are going to be very hard to win. So it's a different, I guess my point is it's a different setup this year. I think they really needed to win the UNLV game. You win that one, you finish September 3-1, different conversation is starting to be had. But as it stands right now, the best they can hope for is 2-2. And 2-2 coming out of September, you're just staring at 4-8, 3-9, something like that. And it's going to be, I think, harder to motivate these guys, not to mention they're bringing in 57 new guys, so they're not as like steeped in the culture as Deshaun Foster's first team was. So, in other words, I don't think he's lost the team by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a very different schedule than it was last year.
All right. Well, that was a lot of negativity.
Yeah.
We're going to get some positivity.
Let's do it.
One, positivity with the POC. We got like 60 people watching live. We
Hey,
appreciate that. And I have a treat for all of you, because if you felt like we got a little too negative talking about the UCLA Bruins, we have number 18 in the power rankings. There's 18 teams in the Big Ten, as you know. I think this is a voicemail that's going to perk you. Like if you, no pun intended for perk, who that the last voicemail, this is a very positive one for UCLA. So let me play it. We want to get some positivity going, flowing through the POC. And here you go.
Hey, Brian and Steve, Trevor here. I haven't called in a while, but I felt compelled to call this week because of all the, it's really unfair criticism I've been seeing online for UCLA head football coach Gaston Green. I even see these lunatics filling the Twitter replies for the new UCLA chancellor, Julio Frank. This poor guy. He just showed up. He's staring down $1 billion in funding cuts, and he can't post anything without a bunch of morons demanding he fire the football coach. It's just so unfair, like I said. Look, when the great Chip Kelly showed up in Westwood, he went 3-9 and 4-8. They didn't run him out of town. They let him cook. They let him build. And boy, did he build. Year 4, the Bruins were beating LSU. Year 5, they were ranked in the top 10. Year 6, Chip was fulfilling the dream of every UCLA head coach and becoming an assistant coach at a better school. So it worked out for everyone involved. So what's different now? Absolutely nothing. Look, I get it. It's been a rough start to the season under Coach Sharman Shah. Week 1, it wasn't pretty, but the Bruins were close. They were so close. And they proved it in week 2. They went on the road. Hostile environment. And they almost tied UNLV. That is real progress. So if you're Chancellor Frank, and I know Chancellor Frank's a big POC head, so I'm going to talk directly to you, Chancellor Frank. Don't listen to these idiots. Don't listen to these malcontents like bro reporter David Woods. Wah, we can't watch practice. Wah. David Woods hasn't earned the right to watch a UCLA practice under Coach Skip Hicks. So you block out that negativity, Chancellor Frank. You've got an elite AD. You've got an elite football coach. You lock them up. You extend them. You give them lifetime contracts. They bleed blue and gold. They're building. They're cooking. They have a team that almost tied UNLV last week. There is a somewhat of a chance that they are going to beat New Mexico this week in front of at least 2,800 people at the Rose Bowl. And boy, they better, because we're all taking them in the survivor pool this week. It is terrifying taking UCLA in a survivor pool. But what other chance do we have, boys? We got to do it this week. So let's all get behind the Bruins. Let's all get behind Chancellor Frank. You lock up head coach. I really should have made a list. Maurice Jones-Drew, and we will all move forward together into week 4 of the Survivor Pool, and with a lifetime contract for Coach. I'm not even going to bother. All right. Have a great week, boys. Bye.
Pretty epic.
I guess I deserve that.
You got a gift card. Was it Trevor, I think?
Steve. Trevor. No, yeah, he's Trevor.
Yeah, Trevor, that was, I was dying. I laughed when I listened to it before David came in here, and I was like, this is going to be hilarious. Email me, Ryan@uscfootball.com. I'll send you a Trader Joe's gift card. We might run out in week 1, but whatever, that's fine.
What the hell?
With the gift card. Pretty awesome, though, right?
Great email.
Who's the new chancellor? What's his name?
Chancellor Julio Frank.
Julio Frank. Okay, so he didn't, screw that name up. Okay, cool. We got one more voicemail. This one's kind of long, too. Here we go.
Hello, Ryan. Hello, Sith Lord Dave. Well. That's right, it's me, the resident Rutgers fan. What a glorious 2 weeks, hasn't it been, gentlemen? I mean, whew, clearly my Scarlet Knights are the best team in the MAC. I think we can all agree. Early front runners to win the MAC championship. Congratulations, Greg Schiano. No further notes. Let's move on. Welcome back to the diaspora. Talking all things Pac-12 football. How's it going out there? Well, if you like infection, it's going well. Where is the Pac infected? Well, let's start with Denny Killingham, shall we? Nice job fumbling a national television opportunity against a lower-tier SEC team. Where else can we look? Oh, UCLA. Well, it's a tough game. Utah, they're back. Big 12 team. Clearly they bounced back against a Mountain West. Up on the farm. No doubt they've made some progress. Andrew Luck's running the show. They only hired a coach who was fired after going, checks notes, 0-10 for the Carolina Panthers before being summarily discharged from his head coaching job. The dude is the sweetest guy in the world, but man, he's got to be at least 8 or 10 concussions deep, and they're starting, checks notes, Ben Gulbranson, former Oregon State backup, 7 career starts at Oregon State. Only highlight, of course, came against a Stanford team that was beating Oregon State the entire game until Gulbranson threw up a Hail Mary into double coverage, which was caught, and DBs tripped each other and fell down, ending what was otherwise a glorious run by David Shaw. Speaking of which, let's turn to the NFL. Shall we? How's the Pac doing in the NFL? Well, the Detroit Lions, I don't know if you followed last year, they had one issue. They had a lot of injuries on the defensive side. Their offense was just nails. How'd they do week 1? Checks notes. 6 points. 6 points? With all those receivers, the running backs, the quarterback? Checks notes. Oh, David Shaw now leading the passing game as a coordinator. You can go your own way, go your own way. You can call it thunder, the light of day. Keep it mediocre, boys.
Right in under the 3-minute limit.
That was beautiful.
I didn't know David Shaw was with Detroit. They led the league. They had 29 points a game last year, and they were not good in week 1. I mean, they lost Ben Johnson. He became the Bears head coach, but wow, that was another great voicemail. You know what? For the Zodiac, for our resident Rutgers fan, I would love to send you a gift card. So all you have to do is email me your real address, and I will send you the gift card. Not federal agents. I will send you a Trader Joe's gift card.
Beautiful.
Love it. Are you okay there?
I'm good.
Are you still you're just from the that Trevor voicemail? Just
I'm shell-shocked. Absolutely shell-shocked.
That was pretty brilliant.
That was beautiful.
I think Mea Culpa.
All right. Let me get in here. Hang on.
It's though my fault. So I can do this.
Did we not do this one already?
This was from September 5th, so no, it was
Okay,
after.
cool. Got it.
Frank in Sacramento. He put Fran, but I think he means Frank. Football is the greatest sport ever invented in the world. It gives you strategy and violence at the same time. You get tension followed by the release of tension, disaster alternating with joy. College football takes this a step further with its student section tribalism and the knowledge that your team may stink, but they will never move away. Leave, quote, charm and, quote, tradition to baseball, which has been dying for 50 years. Basketball, soccer, and hockey are niche sports which simply fill time until football starts again. Oh, and Pat McAfee is young, but he's worse than Lee Corso.
Beautiful.
Frank in Sacramento.
Love it. I think he's kept his streak alive of never asking a question.
Yeah, I don't know what his fault was or what. I'm not sure.
This is from Christian from Orange County.
Okay.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Iowa State. Hi, David Forrest and Ryan Moses. Like Dave, I am of the idea that Gus Johnson is merely a solid play-by-play guy that has great moments. However, something near the end of the first quarter of the Iowa State game swayed my opinion. With the score sitting at a delicious 6-0 Iowa State lead, Gus Johnson exclaimed that the Cyclones... I don't know why this is making me giggle. That the Cyclones were on fire! A statement that only a true ball knower would make. The layman, such as Ryan, might say that the game to this point was boring, or two teams looking like they're simultaneously trying to win and lose. Not Gus. He understands the landscape. He knows the beats. He is the best. First ballot Hall of Fame. All of them. Even the rock and roll one. Go Bruins.
That was Christian in Orange County. Nice. Are you a fan of Gus?
No.
It's a little over the top.
He's very bad on football.
Basketball, I liked.
He's very bad on basketball too, but at least it kind of fits that game better because everything is like a moment that is immediately passed and it doesn't matter.
Like a 3 you get excited for, but 6-0, you're not on fire.
No.
It's like
they're on fire.
You're the opposite. You're walking through frozen, molasses. So you're not on fire.
Yeah.
We got a text message. Perfect scheduling for UCLA fans today. Get to watch and support their old quarterback while he tears it up and doesn't miss a minute of what UNLV is doing to the Bruins.
Thank you.
He didn't, or he or she did not sign that one, but that was a good one.
Thank you. This is from Dustin. A new low. Well, boys, it's hard for UCLA to set a new low every week, but here we are. Darren, I propose the following not as a conspiracy ranking, but a thought experiment. If UCLA were actively trying to destroy the football program, such as there's no interest and the administration can drop football or go FCS, what would they be doing differently? Dustin, you have no idea how often I have thought that exact thought myself. The answer is not much. Brian, please rate where this UCLA team would finish among the new Pac-12. I would say below Boise, Fresno, Washington, Oregon, Texas, and San Diego State, but above Colorado State and Utah State. I'm guessing he meant Washington State, Oregon State, and Texas. No, which one is it? Texas State?
Yeah, I don't even know what the new.
Sure.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, you're probably right. I don't know. UNLV. No, UNLV isn't in the new one. They haven't come over yet. They're still Mountain West.
Right. The thing that will really kill the program is apathy. At the current rate, in 20 or 30 years, I really don't think there will be many living alumni who care. If they want to kill the program, go ahead, I guess. The only option is burn the Morgan Center to the ground and salt the earth. Metaphorically, of course, the current athletic department couldn't sell Mango Cart to Brian or copies of Das Kapital to Darren. Carthago defenda est, or delenda est. Darren, you bring up a great point. I do think apathy is going to kill the program if it ever does die, and I don't think it's 20 to 30 years off, to be real with you. I think some big changes need to be made pretty quickly for that not to happen. And somebody has to make the people in the administration care. And, I was making this point when Chip Kelly was being fired, but the thing that I find that fans find insulting when I put my finger on the pulse of the UCLA fan base is when they feel like they care more than anyone in a decision-making role. And I think that has happened far too often with UCLA. I think it's happening far too often right now with UCLA. And I don't even mean Deshaun Foster. I think he cares.
Yeah, he cares.
I don't think he's... speaking frankly, they're 5 and 9 in his tenure so far. I don't think they're doing a great job, But I don't doubt that he cares. I don't think he's getting great direction from above him, and I don't think there's an administrative commitment to the sport and performing at a high level. And I think that's been obvious now for some time, and something has to change there. There has to be more commitment, or else this thing is going to continue to circle the drain. I made this point on a broadcast before. I think it was even before they lost to. Well, it was certainly before UNLV. It might have been before they lost to Utah too. They are at like this very dangerous point where fan interest is at such a point where you could have almost no program here very soon. And, you know, if you don't do the things to make people interested and make them, you know, want to keep coming back, they're just not going to. And once you kill it, it's gone. Like once you've killed the tradition of going to games and wanting to watch and all that kind of stuff, you don't get that back. Like you don't get this feeling that people have carried forward from when they were in college or when they were watching as kids or whatever. Once that dies, it's not something that you reclaim. And so obviously that needs to be fixed.
I saw similar stuff at USC, like in the Pat Hayden and Lynn Swann eras, where winning wasn't the most, like, I think fans always assume the administration wants to win as bad or worse than they do. And a lot of times that wasn't the case. It was just they like having their little fiefdoms and doing what they, and they're like, winning would be nice, but it's not like we're going all out for it. We'd rather do it this way. We'd rather have these things happening. And so, yeah, like it sucks for fans when they realize these people don't care about winning as much as we do. So you got to get that back. And I think you can get there. Like USC got away from it for a while, and I think they're back to caring about it, but they got away from it a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, and there needs to be some understanding that, like, yes, UCLA has been not good-ish for 25 years and horrible for 10, but like that's not the level. That's not the. Oh, this is the point I was going to make when my train of thought was lost. The maintenance level for this program is obviously not what it's done for the last 10 years. The goal cannot be 6-6, which is basically what UCLA's averaged over the last 10 years. Because obviously that's not the maintenance level, because they continue to hemorrhage season ticket holders. Like, by definition, then, that is not the maintenance level of the program if you're continuing to lose interest while going 6-6 every year.
Was it Ben Bulch that did like the scan or something?
The scan count, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, they had 12,000 for Bowling Green in 2022. You can't hemorrhage interest like that. And the way you do that is by continuing to go 6-6. The goal for the program now, is UCLA going to be a national title contending program? Probably not anytime soon. But you have to be consistently pretty good. You have to be consistently like 7 to 9 wins. That's the historical level of UCLA. That's the level at which it maintained forever.
Yeah.
But you cannot consistently bottom out with a horrible couple of years, then maybe work your way back to 8 wins before bottoming out again. Like it needs to be a consistent, sustained thing for like, okay, you have 4 or 5 pretty good years in a row. Then maybe you have a year where you're not very good. That's the historical level. That's, you go to a bowl game for 4 or 5 years in a row. Then you have a year where you're 4-8.
Yeah.
Okay, it happens. That doesn't kill people. That doesn't make them walk away from the sport. Jim Mora was able to build back the fan base pretty quickly after Neuheisel. They had 75,000 people in the seats in 2014. That's there again, but you need sustained success on the field. And to get that in this modern era, you need a lot more commitment than just hiring a coach.
Yeah.
You need commitment at every level of administration to make that happen. You need booster commitment, but that comes once the administration is on board with what needs to happen from a fundraising standpoint. It hasn't been there.
The Latin phrase is Carthage must be destroyed. Carthage must be destroyed.
Yeah.
Did you know? I didn't know about that one. Like Roman Emperor Cato the Elder.
There you go.
I guess he ended every speech with that. So interesting.
Beautiful.
This is from Colt. Was Foster really about continuity or saving face? Hey, Ryan and Dave. Sorry, I haven't been able to make the last few live shows. My work schedule hasn't been cooperating. That said, the show remains just as mediocre when I catch up later on Spotify. See, Spotify. Leave us a comment, Colt. My question is for Dave. You don't need to go into full detail if it would put you in a tough spot, but here's the situation. After the UNLV game, I spoke with some boosters in Vegas who said the reason we ended up with Deshaun Foster is tied to how Martin handled the coaching staff. Supposedly, he went to the Regents to get extensions for all of Chip's assistants, even though it was widely known that Chip was looking to leave UCLA. When Chip left just weeks later, instead of asking the Regents again for money to buy out those fresh extensions, Martin chose Foster rather than someone like PJ Fleck or Tony White, framing it as continuity for the program. Is there truth to this? And if so, how do we reconcile having an AD who prioritizes saving face over performance? Can Jarman be trusted to make a strong second hire, or is he more interested in protecting his own position? Would love to hear a perspective and the broader view on whether Jarman is genuinely building the program or just spinning the narrative. Thanks as always, Colt.
It's something we heard at the time about the assistant coach salaries. I don't think it was the primary reason for the hire. I think the primary reason is, in my opinion, just as damning, and I brought this up at the time of hire, it was because it was what the players wanted. Which is, as I said at the time, a great reason to hire from within when you are running a mid-level university and a mid-level university's basketball program, and you're trying to make the NCAA tournament the next year, because that would be huge for your program. It's not the way you run a major college football program at a major university. Just not. You can't make that hire for that reason, because the players are going to be gone. They're going to be gone very quickly. In fact, a lot of the players who clamored for that decision, including TJ Harden, were gone within a single year, transferring out on not great terms, too. So that you cannot ever make a hiring decision for that reason. As to the rest of these questions, look, this is the stuff where I'm going to punt it a little bit. But look, you know me. You know my opinions on these sorts of things. Now, am I going to say it baldly right now? Probably not. But something would have to change with his hiring process. Something big would have to change with his hiring process if that comes to fruition. And the thing is, I think Deshaun Foster is going to be here for at least another year on top of this one. If you put a gun to my head right now, that's what I would say. But if you're asking me in that hypothetical world, you would want something to change with Martin Jarman's hiring process, something significant.
Yeah. All right. I think
this is from Alex and SF. AP poll. Hey, champions. Twitter has been all over Haley Sawyer, the AP voter listed as USC media for moving Florida up in the rankings after the home loss to USF while not ranking USF. Ryan, as long as the USC media member is embarrassing themselves and the school, have you considered asking her to rank UCLA in the top 15? If I may go a long way to getting him that it may go a long way to getting him that lifetime extension from Martin Jarman. Dave, I'm flying down to LA to go to the Rose Bowl Friday. Is that a sign that I need help? Am I okay? Are you okay? Alex and SF.
Thanks, Alex. I just met Haley like a couple of months ago. She was covering UCLA last year. Luca Evans, who was the Orange County Register beat writer, moved on, and he's covering the Broncos now in Denver. She actually did an interview with a USC basketball podcast. And ranking kind of those, it's not easy, but it was a really bad ballot. Just looking at all the things, and unfortunately, it was a bad ballot. And I wish she would have said, "Yeah, I just didn't even see that. It was a mistake. I'll fix it this week, going forward." And she kind of made it worse with what she was saying. Now she's getting destroyed on Twitter. I haven't got to talk to her or anything yet. I don't know if you got to know her last year covering.
Yeah, I know Haley.
Yeah, like she's a nice person and everything, but it's just, it's not a good look. It's a bad ballot. And I think in those situations, if she just came out and said, "Yeah, I screwed up. Like I shouldn't have moved Florida up after they lost to USF. USF has beat Boise State. I just late deadline. I didn't get to do this right. I'll fix it this week." Like I think everyone would be like, "Yeah, cool, whatever."
I think it's a human dynamic thing more than it is like everyone screws stuff up. Whatever. I mean, we all screw stuff up. I think it's a human dynamic thing where we can all look at this and say, okay, obviously she screwed something up, and obviously her response mechanism was defensive rather than, mea culpa. And we've all been there too. I think, what happens on the internet is people kind of lose their sense of humanity with a lot of this stuff and just end up bullying people, and that's not right. She obviously had a bad ballot, and obviously, and this goes for everyone out there, admitting you made a mistake is the absolute best thing in the world.
Yes.
Do you know why? Because people love to show grace. They do. It's one of the most beautiful things about humanity. But when you admit a mistake and you say, you know what, I really screwed that up. That's totally my bad. You know what people want to say? Don't worry about it. No big deal. Nobody wants to beat somebody up who's beating themselves up. Nobody. Not in the entire world. Well, maybe a few people. But most people don't. They want to say, oh, you know what? It's no big deal. Shit happens. And so she would have been better served by saying, you know what? I was up super late covering this USC game, and I must have glazed over the wrong scores, and I screwed this up. Obviously, Florida shouldn't be there. I'm going to fix it next week. Totally my bad, yada, yada, yada. And I can't say the entire Twitter sphere would show grace, but you would get a lot more of it.
Yes.
And so it's just unfortunate. We all have different reactions to things, and sometimes we get defensive over stuff, and it's just a good piece of advice for everyone out there. Admitting fault doesn't make you weaker, doesn't make you bad, it's not an indictment on you, not an indictment on your work. Everyone screws stuff up. You just say, oh, my bad.
Yeah. All right, one last one. POC Freakiest Friday. This is POC Jock. Ryan and David, concluding our Freaky Friday anthology, which Disney princess would you swap bodies and lives with? Share why and what you're most least excited for in your new princess life.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know enough princesses, but also.
Well, you can get super weird and just be Mulan, and then you swap bodies with a woman pretending to be a man fighting in a war. That could be kind of cool. It's kind of like what movie would that be? Isn't there a movie like that? Anyway, that's one. Who's really wealthy? Jasmine. I'll go Jasmine.
That's what I was gonna say.
Jasmine, or maybe Elsa. They've got some freezing. They've got some big ass castles. Elsa's got superpowers, dude.
Yeah.
Like, she can make an entire castle out of ice. Like, imagine what you could do with that. You could make friends. You could make snow friends.
I like that.
Like the little snowman?
I was thinking Jasmine just because I'm like, who's like loaded and just has like a cushy life?
Jasmine's got a cushy life, but it's hot down there.
That's true.
So I'm probably going Elsa, the more I think about it.
Okay, I'll go Jasmine. My initial thought was Jasmine, so I'll go Jasmine and just be like loaded and cushy.
Fair enough.
You don't want to be like Rapunzel or something and like stuck in a tower or...
Jim, I hate your comment here.
Oh, wait, let me stick with Jim.
She needs to stick to home and garden. See, this is the problem, and this is the problem with getting super defensive for her, is that it allows people to say stupid shit like this. I'm not trying to beat you up, Jim. It's just this is an example of a lot of people posting this stuff on the internet. Because Haley is a woman, people, this is the part where like people start indicting all women in the space as like incompetent, and it's like I've seen so many dudes do this exact same screw up.
Yeah.
And it happens every time. And most of the time, these people just go silent and they don't say anything about the screw up. And then they just submit a fixed ballot next week. Haley said something. And she was on video doing it. And people see, oh, she's smiley and laughy and she's a woman. So I'm going to then rip on her for that reason. And it's like, dude, let me tell you, this is a sneak peek for everyone out there. Nobody in the AP voting circle is watching every game. In fact, I would wager with you quite strongly that most of them are not watching more than one or two.
Yeah, which sucks.
Quite strongly. And that they are looking at box scores at best, or going off half-remembered stuff from the ticker, or looking at their ballot from the previous week, cross-referencing very briefly with whether or not the other team won or lost, and moving them up one spot or down one spot. That's all they're doing, okay? What Haley is doing is no different. It's just she made the screw-up, and then she was on video being, smiley about it, and so people take this as an opportunity to be, negative about women in the sports space. And it's just, come on. Yeah. You can have a nuanced argument about it without getting misogynistic about it, right? Women can have opinion on sports. I'm an idiot. I have opinions about sports. I didn't play football, but I'm allowed to have these opinions.
No, it's true. We have a couple of comments I forgot we didn't get questions to, and let me pull them up real quick. We'll do these fast. Dave from Sequim, what did you do in Vegas?
I did nothing. I arrived at 10:30 p.m. on Friday night. I promptly went to bed because it was a long day of working and then travel because my flight was delayed. You know, I just hate when that happens.
Yeah.
And then I woke up, I got lunch, and then I went to the game. I watched the game. I covered it. I was up until like 11. Then I went and played about an hour and a half of blackjack with my brother.
Okay.
And then I went to bed, and I was up and out on a 8 a.m. flight. So I was out of the room at 6:30.
It's a whole different experience if I'm not there.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That wouldn't have, if I was there, that wouldn't have been the case. Dog's Life in Portland. Iowa grabbed quarterback Gronkowski, but only had 3-star wide receivers. What's up with that? I don't think it was a receiver problem. He does not look like he was comfortable throwing the football back there. What'd you think?
Yeah.
Robbie. You guys were how I found out that the Queen passed away last year. Anything to report today? Oh, I think he was trying to get us to talk about there was like a bad tragedy.
Oh, shit, yeah. Charlie Kirk, the conservative political commentator, he was shot and killed, for those who don't know.
That looked terrible.
Do not find that video. Like, I know some people are like, and I'm kind of the same way where you like can't look away from a car crash. Do not find that video.
Yeah.
It is not really horrific.
Yeah. One last one from Brandon. How bad did the Fox announcers suck for the USC and UCLA games? I haven't watched the playback yet, but was it bad? I don't know.
I haven't watched the TV feed, and I was watching the USC one on silent, so I don't know.
Yeah.
People were saying the UCLA one was really bad, though.
They were saying that too. Okay. I didn't hear much about this one. West Texas Mike says that you cover the game in Vegas, but you don't go to the Rose Bowl.
That's right, baby.
It's Vegas, yeah.
I've covered so many away games since I last went to the Rose Bowl. Yeah. I've covered a lot of away games.
Nice.
I've been to Memphis. I've been to Cincinnati. I've been to Hawaii. I've been to Nebraska. I've been to Vegas. Probably several others in there. Still have not gone back to the Rose Bowl since 2015.
Wow.
For a football game.
10 years.
That's right, baby.
All right, well, let's going to wrap it up. This was really long, almost 2 hours. For David Woods, I am Ryan Abraham. Hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we will talk to you next time.
Goodbye.